Guys, welcome to the Next Level Training. I appreciate you listening, watching, being involved, and I have a couple of housekeeping things that we want to share. You know, one of the neat things about what we do here at Family First Life, hopefully, is as we continue to grow, we're always still trying to figure out, can we make some changes that are going to positively influence people? What are the things that we're doing really well, and what are the things that we can change? You know, it's kind of funny because at the end of the day, I think no matter how well you're doing, if you take a step back and go, well, we got it figured out, and you know, you kind of get knocked over. I mean, I think about, like, talking to a guy about this. He was bringing up this game the other day. I didn't see it because I was on an airplane when I got back, and I was like, man, National Championship game was pretty lopsided. And he said, man, what happened? I said, well, I don't know. Clemson seemed prepared, and Alabama maybe thought they was already going to win because they were Alabama, because they definitely got smoked. And at the end of the day, I say that because we want to keep a healthy paranoia of we got to keep working hard to get better every single day, every single week, every single month. So a couple things we're going to change. One of the things we've been doing on this call weekly, this live feed, is we've been trying to do a 15-minute advanced markets piece at the end. You know, annuities, IUL, Sean Ruggiero's done an outstanding job, have guests on, but at the end of the day, it's really a lot of information jam-packed into a short period of time. And we also want to be very consistent. Like, this training is very much mortgage, final expense, attitude, building a business, how do you become profitable, what do you do with your leads, how do you speak to your clients, how do you speak to your agents, how do you do all of those things. And I think we've done a great job of it. So instead of trying to put too much into 1 hour, this next level training every week is going to be about all of that. Doesn't mean we're not going to touch on annuities and IULs, some of the advanced market stuff, but at the end of the day, it's really going to be very focused on how do you, the producer, watch this, listen to this, get done, become more profitable, selling life insurance, and hiring agents and building a business. So we're going to move that. It's going to be Advanced Markets Live, and that's going to be Thursday at 11 a.m. on Facebook Live, right, Mike? Also on a call line as well?
Yes.
So Facebook Live, so we are here, Facebook Live on the call line. That'll be hosted by Sean Ruggiero. We'll have an hour allotted for it. He said he's probably not going to take an hour the majority of the time, 30, 45 minutes, wherever they need to take, 50 minutes, but really be able to get into the crux and the basics of, annuities and IULs, and really how do we go ahead and get better at both? Because as you see, we're as committed to growing that side as we are over here. The bread and butter will always be mortgage and final expense. We can get people doing that real fast. So that's going to be Thursday. We're going to move the product. It was a product training call. We're going to now make that a podcast. So that's going to be released Thursday morning at 8 a.m. Correct, Mike?
Yep.
So that'll be a podcast. So we've had agents doing quite a bit of it lately, managers and VPs training on the products. We have some new carriers that are joining us that are very excited about being involved in that. So you'll probably see them interchange with the agents and managers and VPs we have doing it. But that podcast will drop Thursday morning at 8 a.m. We're going to move the True Talk podcast release to Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. It had been Monday afternoon, Mike, 2 o'clock maybe?
2 o'clock.
Monday 2. It's now going to be Wednesday at 8 a.m. And then what we're going to do, the Monday morning wake-up call, we decided we're going to go ahead and replace that with a different call. And it's been such an amazing call. Paul McLean's been so unbelievably giving on that call and providing. But we get that by asking so many agents and managers and VPs about what can we do to get better. And what we kept getting for feedback from people is, man, we'd really love something on Monday morning that would talk about the weekend sales. Something on Monday morning that would give us a glimpse inside the producer's head as they're out there. So I think it was, I want to give Mike Sizer credit for the name, but it's going to be Inside the Sale every Monday morning. And we're going to do that as a podcast as well. Because realize how many downloads we have and how active people are with those and how much they seem to like them for their own time's sake. So that's going to be released Monday morning at 8 a.m. Inside the Sale. And what we're going to do with that, myself and other VPs and EVPs, however we decide to pick and choose the interviewers, we're going to interview an agent off of their weekend, what he or she did this past weekend, what that weekend looked like, walk you through some of the appointments, some of the successes, some of the failures. I'm not really big. I don't think if you don't close an appointment, it's a failure. I think quitting's a failure. I don't think anything else is a failure. I think, getting knocked down is not a failure. Missing a shot's not a failure. Missing an appointment's not a failure. Quitting's a failure. But really the ups and downs, probably a better way to put it. How did I do in here? Hey, how did I push through this? How did I avoid the objections? Oh, when I was sitting in a mortgage protection appointment and this person had some medical issues, which means I had to transition over here a whole life, and how I did that. So we're really going to take you inside the producer's head for 25 to 30 minutes tops and ask some very pointed questions that hopefully, as you're listening to the podcast, you're like, wow, that's interesting. That's happened to me before, or that's not happened to me, but now I know how to deal with it if it does, and really keep you very up to date on what's going on with the producer. So, and again, does that mean we're going to do that one forever? We're going to just continue to keep our finger on the pulse of what's going on here. A big part of it too is we're hiring so many agents. And we have so many people. Like when I think about people like Ivan that have been around for a very short period of time and had the success and the volume that he's had, I'm thinking, if we can do a better job, now do I think Mark's done a great job probably already doing this inside the sales stuff with him? Yeah. Do I think he's out there figuring out in his own and working really hard? I absolutely do. So at the end of the day, I really think this is going to help us just take all the training to the next level. The goal is to take the entire deal to the next level. So that being said, we have some amazing guests today. We have Matt Walker and Fame First Life Revolution are really starting to grow their organization. It's really neat to watch. I got to spend time with the agent they got in St. Louis the other day, and he's came out smoking. I mean, writing a bunch of business. They're just adding a lot of people on a daily basis. And Matt's got an agent that's been working with him since, I want to say about August. Marysa Maggio, thank you, Mike. Marysa Maggio. I keep looking. Nobody can see you. You're like the voice in the back. You're like Oz, but he's back there. Marysa Maggio, and she sells life insurance. I mean, not that she is not trying to learn some advanced market. She is, but everything she does is life insurance. And Matt obviously sells quite a bit of life insurance. Frank Eufemia sells quite a bit of life insurance. They've really helped her learn how to be very good at what she does. But she's knocking out. I think she said she started in August. I think she's going to finish about 150, 160, or finish 150, 160 for the year. So, I mean, certainly would have been on track to do, call it could have been a Hall of Fame producer had she worked the entire year. So I really wanted you to hear, Matt was like, man, she's doing really well. And I'm like, well, she's newer. Let's hear from her and have her do a video. So I really want to hear from her and hear what's going on today. So I'm going to pass it over to Marysa. I hope you take a lot out of what she says. It's a different perspective. And again, somebody who, according to what she's saying she's going to do next year and listen to Matt and Frank talk about, is going to be a Hall of Fame producer. So it's all yours.
Hey everybody, happy Friday. Sean, thank you for having me on the Next Level call today. I don't take it lightly at all. I did want to talk a little bit about convention, being that it is only 2.5 weeks away. For those of you guys that already booked your flight and your room, awesome. I'm excited to see you there. I can't wait. For those of you guys that have not done that yet, please hit the done button on that and do it today. Get it done. When we come into this industry, oftentimes we may try to justify our behaviors such as, I've only been here for a week, I've only been here for a month, I've only been here for, a year. It really doesn't matter how long you've been here. It really doesn't even matter if you've gotten started yet. What matters is that we're building a business and we can be around all of the top people that are in that same exact business for 3 days. That's huge. On top of all the content that's going to be partaking within the actual convention, being able to rub elbows, so to say, and talk to all these people that are having great success, producing, building teams, whatever it may be, is huge. We have our teams that, you may report to an office, you may not report to an office, you may work from home, be on Google Hangouts, things of that sort, which are all great things to plug into and keep plugging into them. But this convention is one time a year and everybody is going to be there. And the amount of income you are going to make just from simply getting on the plane, getting yourself there, is ridiculous. If you need to double, triple, quadruple your income, that's the place that you need to be, because all of the top leaders, as you guys can probably see in this industry and in this organization specifically, are going to be there because they want to share. Everybody here wants to share. There's no secret. There's no secret that any producer can tell you that it's just, there's just one secret and you just go out and you do this and you're going to write everybody. Or there's nobody that's going to tell you, there's only one way to build a team. There's not. Think about how many different organizations are within Family First Life. So many different organizations. And everybody does everything a little bit different. And sometimes when we can get ourselves surrounded by those people that are doing things a little bit different, it's huge. And we shouldn't take that lightly, and we should definitely take advantage of this opportunity. Your bank account is going to thank you long term. We may try to justify this by saying, we have to run appointments, we need to buy our leads, we need to, whatever we need to do that is not being there, it's just not it's not a good excuse ultimately. I think everybody should be there. The amount of knowledge that we're able to grasp from these top leaders in this industry is huge. If you're having trouble, you're brand new and you're having trouble producing, go get around the top producers. If you've been here for a month, a week, a year, or 5 years and you're having trouble building, get there, because there's going to be a whole bunch of people, team builders, that have been there. They've been where you are, they've felt how you felt, and they know how to kind of tweak it, turn things around, and put it in your favor. And I think that's huge. Being able to rub elbows with these people, it's not something that we're able to do every day. We all do live in, different states. You may not report to an office, especially on a daily basis. And, you may usually connect with the same leaders and the same producers that are able to help you out. But we can not only help everybody out, as far as we know. And there's so many different ways of tweaking small little things in this industry that can just be game changing for your business. So let's not justify our behaviors, say we need to buy leads, we need to, run our appointments. It's more important for us to be home for XYZ reason. There's no reason that anybody shouldn't be there that wants to build this business and wants to make money. If you are not there, you are literally leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. Please don't do that. Don't do it. Just spend the $200 on the flight ticket, get there, and your pocket will thank you, because your business will grow exponentially, because you'll be able to have so many different types of feedback as long as you're rubbing elbows with people while you're there. While I'm sure the content that's going to happen and partake within the days of convention is going to be incredible, you're really able to connect with people, before and after these meetings, and talk to them one-on-one. Ask the top producers, what are you doing? Ask the top builders, what are you doing? This is what I'm doing. What do you think about that? Most of these people have been in your shoes before. If you're struggling or if you're doing great, go out there and share. No one's selfish in this company. We see on these conference calls all the time, people talking and just sharing, what they're doing to find success. And I love that about Family First Life. I love how selfless the company is. And that's why get there, because you're going to be around thousands of selfless people that are willing to help you grow your business. Kind of branching off of that, I hope to see you all there. I really just want to quickly talk about in the home and about how we can sometimes feel like, when we go in the home, we let the client take control. And what I mean by that is we don't really find an emotion. We kind of just put the ball in their court versus giving them some leadership. When people fill these forms out, or they reply on Facebook, or they respond to anything, ultimately what they're saying, in other words, is, I need help, I just don't know exactly what I need. And sometimes when we get there to the home, we might build rapport for a little bit too long, which sometimes can establish a stage that will kind of set the client up to be able to tell you, like, I'm going to think about it, or things like that. And I think it's really important to just get right down to business, and make sure that we are able to get that emotion on the table. If we don't do that and we don't get right down to business, we don't tell them why we're there, we don't establish who we are, we don't do any of that, we're putting the ball completely in the client's court, and we're saying, hey, I know that you asked for some leadership on some life insurance or on some mortgage protection, but I'm going to put the ball in your court and just let you tell me what to do. We need to go there and we need to let them know why we're there, what we're going to accomplish, and what we're really going to walk through with them today. So what that looks like for me, when I get there, I build a little bit of rapport, which I think is important. I also build that, throughout the financial inventory, etc. But once I get there and I sit down, I'm with the husband and wife, I'm with the wife, or I'm with whoever. It doesn't matter. I'm sitting there. I'm gonna let John and Mary know why I'm there, and I think that that's really important. I'm going to use a mortgage protection mailer just as an example of kind of what I mean by setting the stage that you're going to be doing business and you're going to be conducting business today. And really what that sounds like for me, when I walk in, I build a little bit of rapport, I sit down and I explain to them who I am and what I want to accomplish. So I would say, for example, so John and Mary, I just want to explain to you guys my role, my purpose, and ultimately what I'm here to help you guys to accomplish today. I'm what they call a field underwriter, and in other words, what that really means is I work together with several dozen of these companies that do these mortgage protection plans. I'm not individual to any one company. I'm much more individual to you and your family. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the loan itself, just to make sure I have the correct idea how everything is set up. A little bit about your finances and plans that you might already have in place, because this might be something you don't need at all, or you need a lot less than you thought you needed, and I'll be the first person to tell you that. I am also going to talk to you guys a little bit about your health, not to be invasive, just to make sure whatever carrier we're looking at, we're going to get you guys approved for the coverage, we're not going to get you guys declined. And we will take that application tonight. We'll get it sent up to our senior underwriting team. Typically takes them anywhere between about 1 to 5 business days to give us an approval or declination. From there, you guys will have the coverage in place. And your jobs tonight really is just to kind of help me help you. And what I mean by that is we all have a budget. I know I do, I'm sure you do, and the guy down the street probably does. So we want to make sure anything we're looking at is going to suit the need, suit the budget, and we'll make the two work together. Sound good? And they always say, yeah, sounds good, and you get a tie down, and they're nodding their head, you're nodding your head, and everybody's on the same page. Ultimately, what I feel like this does, it sets the stage so that we're not, quote unquote, like kidnapping our clients. If we put somebody on a bus and we don't tell them where we're going, then, that's kidnapping. Same thing with our clients. When we go in the home and we don't tell them what we're going to discuss, why we're there, what we're going to talk about, we don't take any control in the home. That's typically when things get out of control, we lose control, and ultimately we walk away not being able to help the family and without that sale. So I think that that's crucial to just lay down that foundation, and that's something that can be across the board in every single home, whether it's mortgage protection, final expense, just tweak that wording a little bit. And I think that will be able to help a lot of you guys out just in terms of having a quote unquote constant in every single home, because of course every home we go into is going to be different based off what they're looking for, their income, if it's mortgage protection, if it's final expense. But when we have one thing that we can confidently say when we open up and we can get the client and ourselves on the same page, that's huge. So getting down to business, remember you're the leader. They need you to lead them in the right direction. That's what the client filled it out for. I never buy for example, if somebody says oh, well, the client told me they were just looking for quotes. If they were just looking for quotes, they would have went online and just looked for quotes. They wouldn't have filled out a mortgage mailer, filled it in, and sent it back. So I think that it's really important that we don't lose sight of that, and that we also remember that no matter what they filled out, mortgage mailer, final expense mailer, Facebook lead, they filled something out with hopes to get the right leadership as to what they should do for their family, and we should never take that lightly. I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I hope you all have a great Friday. Thank you.
Thank you, Marysa. I appreciate it. Outstanding. I think when you listen to her talk, it's so neat because I think when she talks about the constant, right, the things that you see, no matter what the situation in the home is, whether it's mortgage, final expense, whatever the dynamic is, how you stay consistent in your approach. And when you hear producers, we use the word top producer. I'll say when you listen to people that are issue paying 20 grand a month, and you hear what they're saying. They're getting on the way to diamond and platinum, but you hear the things they say, it just seems to be, it is a lot of repetition, which is very good. It's one of those things where if I can continue to just, because here's the thing, you have to go in with your game plan, right? If it's your game plan, it's going to change, their variables will change in there. If you're 31 years old with no health issues compared to your 74 with a myriad of health issues, of course there, but my approach from the second I walk in your house is still the same as far as my attitude goes, and setting those ground rules and providing that structure. I think that the majority of producers in this business, they fail before they get started because they never provide structure. And what we find is, and all of you are going to do it differently. Everybody's got to find their way of providing structure. We go back 10 years, right? You want me to take my shoes off. That provided structure for me. I wanted to ask a question that had a yes or no answer to it, and I wanted to establish that I'm going to ask a lot of questions. Oh, it's a great house. How long have you all lived here? Part of that connecting for me at the beginning was establishing that I'm going to be the one that asks the most questions is, right? The one that asks the most questions wins. Well, the one that asks the most questions is the one that's in control. When you go in for an interview, the interviewee doesn't interrogate the interviewer. And if they do, the interview ends. We're the interviewer. They're the interviewee. They want something we have. It's the same process. And I used to say to people sometimes, this just seems weird. Why? Because I'm the one interviewing you because you've applied through this form to see if you can get coverage. I have to establish the baseline and see if you can get coverage. but every time I ask a question, you want to ask me 3 in return. It's not that I'm angry about it. I just can't I can't move forward with you, and I can't help you get what you're looking for because you won't let me. So do you have any more questions you want to ask, or can we just get to trying to find out if you're eligible? And your questions, what you're asking me is not going to help. Before we get ahead of ourselves, let's see what we can get you and where we're at, first of all. And then I start asking, once I start asking those, small talk, like how long you been here, how long y'all been together, oh, your kids, how old are they, what school did you go to? I'm asking those questions because when I start asking all my questions about if something happens to your husband, what happens, hey, you're a single father, you're a single mother, what's going to happen if something were to happen to you? I need to continue to set that stage, and I'm going to be asking questions the entire time. And I'm going to give you enough information about me where you won't have to ask a lot of questions. That's the problem too with some producers, is they don't offer up the information, thus they have to be interrogated. I'll say in there, I've been doing this for X amount of years. When I was doing it for 3 months, here was what I did previously. I loved my job as a social worker, but I decided that I wanted to help people in a different way. I might give them a story about why I stopped being a social worker. I was doing this, and it became a problem because all the people that were higher up were making all the decisions and wouldn't let me make any decisions. And I am educated, but more importantly, I was the one in the home with the kids and the parents, or the uncles, aunts, grandparents, whoever's raised them, and they wouldn't let me make decisions because I know everybody can connect with that. I know everybody at their job at some point in time has felt they don't let me make any decisions. I have a job, I have a title, but they don't let me make any decisions. So for me, I'm just trying to find that common ground. I want to offer those things up. Here's how I was raised. I was raised by a single mom. Whatever situation I was in, hey, I'm raising my kids. Here's where I'm at. Here's how old they are. So I really wanted to make sure that I shared enough where they knew enough about me that it would if I shared enough things, it was hard for them to think about what to ask me. I'm an independent broker. I have a bunch of different companies. My job is to find the best one at the best price. So I do all that. So they're thinking, darn it, all the questions I was going to ask him, he's already answered. And we find out a lot of times, there's an old adage, right? Somebody asks you a question for 1 or 2 reasons. Number 1, they want the information, which that's easy. Number 2, they're trying to mess with you. They genuinely want the information that, somebody sees you and they think you're 20 and you look 15 and go, how old are you? They know you're young. They're trying to mess with you. So you got to ask them, hey, can I ask you why you asked me that? I always do it when somebody asks, well, how many times have you come across a situation where you've met with somebody that has, worked with a company? They ask me some crazy off-the-wall question. I'm like, can I ask you why you asked me that? Well, how long exactly has the company been in business? I'll Google it. This long. Well, you really didn't. They've been around quite a long time, but I do know this. With the way insurance works, they pay their claims. At the end of the day, all you're really worried about, sir, is a claim pay, right? And with the guarantee fund and how it works with the states and who they are, they've been around for a very long time, but all you're worried about is are they going to pay. So I'm willing to answer questions that have a bearing on what we're doing, but I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole, if you will. So great points, great stuff. Convention, I couldn't agree anymore. I think, but she said it early on when she was talking, asking questions. You can go to any training you want. And like I could go and you could go. Like you could be sitting right next to me, go to training. If I find people throughout my training, whatever training it's at, and I ask them questions and I do the best I can to get better, my result and what I got out of it is not even comparable to yours. Because if you go, sit through it, take a few notes, nod your head, and leave, there's no way you got the bang for your buck like I did. Because I found people that were doing things. I might find somebody that's not doing as much and want to know how. I'm not trying to be rude. Hey, this person's been around for 10 years. It looks like you're just getting building. What, if you don't mind me asking, you've been selling quite a bit. What do you think if you could go back? My daughter had a pageant recently, and they had to pick out of the hat a judge, and then she picked I think she was the Miss America in 2016 that asked the question. They're all such awesome people. And she said, the question was, if you could go back, Savannah, and tell your 12-year-old self something, what would it be? And I kind of like, that's a great, hey, if you've been working in this for 3 years, if you could go back and tell the person that started 3 years ago, what would that be? And my daughter, I brag on my daughter, but my daughter was like, Savannah, because she had some problems in class, in mathematics specifically, and just couldn't process the way everybody else was as fast as they were. And she basically went in to say, Savannah, I know you're sitting in class right now, you're a little confused, you're trying to figure out why everybody's getting things you're not. you do well in all your other courses, but here you just have some limitations and disability that you need to work with, and you're going to get some support. But as you grow older, you're going to work through that, and then you're going to develop clubs to help others that have disabilities in a different way and build a unified dance team. I was about crying, just so you know. You'd be crying too, Mike, if it was any of your daughters. But not to try to throw that on you, but to deflect. But I would have been crying. I'm almost crying now telling you. But at the end of the day, it's a great question. Hey, you've been doing this for 3 years. If you go back 3 years, if you go back to yourself 3 years ago when you started, 2 days into it, what would be some advice you'd give yourself? So I'm now going to pass it over to Bryan Mendenhall. If you've not heard Bryan Mendenhall train, I don't know if I've heard much better in my life. When I say that, I don't say it lightly if you know me. He's very able to connect with folks. He's very communicative, but he's also very able to get into the heart of what you're doing. And it can be emotional. This is an emotional sale. You don't need to jump up and down and scream and cry, but you have to be able to connect with people on an emotional level, because people buy life insurance for emotional reasons. You know, when they wake up and go, or get the form and go, man, what would happen if I died and my kids? Like that's an emotional deal. So Bryan's going to talk to you about that, and here's my buddy Bryan Mendenhall.
Thank you guys for allowing me to get on today and share. Today, guys, I'm going to talk a little bit about conference, what it's done for me, what it's going to do for you. But before that, I really want to just say, like, I'm really grateful for where we are right now, how Sean is just so selfless. He does so much for just giving back and pouring into everybody. Like, I don't want you to take it for granted. This convention is coming up in 20 days, guys. It's going to be a huge event. It's going to change a lot of people's lives. And this event's going to probably cost Sean $350,000 to $500,000 easy. And he won't bat an eye, because he knows it's going to change people's financial futures forever. Guys, I've talked to people. We've hired a bunch of agents. I've talked to people that come from other companies. And these guys are telling me they have conferences as well, but they don't have any training in their conference. It's more stories just to get them fired up and get them excited to go do a bunch of nothing. It's not going to be like that here, guys. Literally, Sean is very, very smart. And the way he puts things together, he only has the best people that are the best at their craft teaching on what they're good at. You won't see anybody at conference that's training that's mediocre. There won't be any average. You're only going to see the elite. That's massive. Guys, what I'll tell you is conference has changed my life tremendously. I remember my first conference. It was actually in 2016. And that year, it's kind of funny, like a lot of big commitments are made at conference, guys. Big decisions are made at conference. Big goals are made at conference. And your vision will get stretched at conference. Me and Frank Eufemia, I still remember, we were actually doing a breakout session, and there was groups of 50 that were coming into the room, and we were just doing the sales training. But I had told Frankie earlier that day, hey, next year or this year, I'm going to do $400,000. Guys, the most I'd ever done, just so you know, was $250,000. And that was 3 years in a row, back to back to back, before starting at this company. I told Frankie, I know I could do $400,000. I'll go out and do $400,000. This guy believed in me so much that everybody that came in the room, he'd actually told every single person, hey, Mendenhall's gonna do $400,000. If he doesn't hit $400,000, I'm gonna give each one of you $1,000. I'm looking at him like, what? But guess what? I had to put my money where my mouth was. I told him that. I made that commitment. Guys, if I wouldn't have been at that conference, I wouldn't have made that commitment. Now, I couldn't let him down. I couldn't let myself down. That year, from that sitting in that room, I ended up going out writing $533,000. That wouldn't have happened if I wasn't there. I promise you. Guys, a big nugget I picked up from conference is I really learned how to start selling annuities as well. I never really sold annuities. Actually, in 2015, I actually sold $0 of annuities. 2016, I sold $3 million. Guys, that was from showing up to a conference and getting information. Guys, one of the best things that I like about conference, and this is my favorite, hands down, it's always going to be the breakout sessions Guys, the breakout sessions, you got to think about it like you're going to be able to have the best of the best and have them in a room for literally 30 to 45 minutes and just be able to shoot every question that you can think of at them. Their job's to answer. Again, this is free. We don't keep secrets here. Guys, I've been in corporate America, I'm sure a lot of you have as well, where whoever's doing really, really good, they won't share the good information. It's not gonna be like that. You're literally gonna, if this is your first event, you're gonna start looking at people differently. Like people outside of this business, outside of Family First Life, they're still gonna be normal. But people inside this business, they're going to be selfless. They're going to be willing to give you the information. You just don't get that anywhere else. Like our breakout session, I can't wait. I know it's going to be fire. I got Sean Mike, Galen Ware, and myself, and we're actually going to be training on how to bring out the emotion in the home. Think about that, guys. Like, I will lay it all on the line. Galen, if you ever hear Galen train, you know he's going to lay it all on the line. And we're just there to serve you. And every single breakout session is going to have another manager that's a master of their craft. So there's going to be somebody talking about building a massive agency. Somebody else might be really good at building a massive agency while still running a ton of business. But you're going to have all that information for you when you get to go there, okay? One of the big things also, guys, is like have a plan when you go to conference. That's important. You got to think, go there with an agenda. Go there knowing that, hey, this person is a little like me. I feel comfortable with their style. I'm going to go, and don't look at it like you're harassing them. Go ask them every question. Like literally right now, these next couple weeks, these next 20 days that you have, start jotting down questions that you have for certain people so that when you go there, get around them. Ask them questions. You'll be so surprised and almost drawn back a little at the honest answers that you actually get and that people actually want to help you. It's not normal. And I just love it. So that's one thing. I'd also tell you to bring a tape recorder, bring some kind of recorder. I know phones nowadays, iPhones all have recording devices. Make sure you record so you can play back later. Also, you're going to take notes. You're going to take a bunch of notes so that you can actually have the information for later when you also want to go back and read over your notes. But one of the most important things I'll tell you about conference and being there, guys, is you want to make sure that you actually start implementing the stuff that you learn. You're going to learn so much information, and it's going to come at you so fast. But getting all the information, if you don't actually start applying it right away, it's just like you never actually used it. You never heard it. It didn't really matter, okay? That's massive. One thing I want you guys to think about, and this kind of threw me off a little bit, I've been doing insurance now for 10 years. I understand the importance of getting to meetings. I don't miss a conference. I don't miss a meeting. And it's funny, it's like either the meeting needs you or you need the meeting. I gotta tell you, after a full year of working, it's both. The meeting needs me. I know that when I go in there, I'm going to pour my heart out and do anything I can to help everybody. But I need the meeting. Like, I'm going there empty right now. I'm trying to get full. I'm trying to learn as much as I possibly can. See, I have goals. Every single one of you on the line right now, you have goals. We need to go ahead and figure out how to get this thing to $1 million a month. Andrew Taylor was able to do it. Guess what? Anybody can do it if you're willing to work. If you're willing to go all in and put all the efforts towards it, you can do it too. Go there with an agenda. Go there knowing, hey, you know what? I'm going to set some crazy goals. I'm going to set some huge commitments, and I'm going to go all in with 2019. And here's one of the last things I'll tell you guys. Everyone's going through something. Everyone's going to have some kind of a struggle. Everyone's going to have a reason why they can't make it. There might be some people that are tight on money, guys. This will be one of the biggest investments that you've invested into yourself that's going to just be literally a game changer. If you're tight on money, it does not matter. Get there, because I promise you in a few months, you will be hand over fist in money because you were able to go to that event. You're going to walk away with $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 more of information that you're going to be able to go and apply. The last thing I'm actually really going to leave you with is, I believe in this deal so much, guys. Every single person on my team, I've reached out to every single one of them. And if you haven't heard from me yet, you're hearing from me now. I'm giving them the money back guarantee, guys. The money back guarantee is, I know that this is a game changer. If you book your ticket, you book your flight, because the event is free, you register for the event, you book your flight, you go to this event, guys, and you don't feel that you've gotten your money's worth, I'm going to refund 100% of your flight. I'll refund all the money right back to you. I have no problem doing that. Now, here's the cool thing. With how aggressive we are and how we know that this is going to work for everyone, if you reach out to your manager, I guarantee they do the same thing for you. So if you're on the fence right now and you're not sure if you're going to conference, reach out to your manager. Tell them you want to go. Tell them, hey, would you be willing to give me the money back guarantee? And just watch what they say. Guys, I see you at conference. Come there ready to learn, be fired up. I see you guys there. Thanks for letting me share, guys. Talk to you soon.
Well, here's the thing, and I appreciate what you're saying, Bryan, but at the end of the day, I always kind of looked at what's the worst case scenario, right? And I think, for me, anything I've ever gone to, and if I'm willing to be open-minded, there's no way that I can't improve myself and my situation and what I'm doing. So, and when you listen to Bryan talk about everything he talked about, you know, I love when people say, well, you know, that person's just passionate. And I go, okay, well, give me something in your life you're passionate about. Because I would guarantee that everybody watching, listening, everybody involved, there's something where when you talk about it, your kids, very few people that when I talk about, you know, they talk about their children, they're not passionate, you know. But I mean, there's something, whatever it happens to be, whether it's art, whether it's theater, whether it's your parents, whether it's children, whether it's a pet, it doesn't matter, a profession. You know, is you have to find out what you've been passionate about, and what better thing to be passionate about than helping people protect their families. I mean, this one isn't a big stretch. I mean, we meet with people who know they need help, ask us for help, and then we provide help for them. I mean, you know, if you take some time to think about how powerful what we do is and what kind of good we're really doing in people's lives, I think you'll find quite a bit of passion when you're talking about it. It makes you very easy to stand up when somebody's looking to make a bad decision. So thank you, Bryan. Our last guest, our second last guest before our special guest regarding some annuity stuff, is Frank Eufemia. If you don't know Frank, we kind of like Frank he is like the king of the cashback option training. He's just unbelievable at training in general. Been a phenomenal producer every single year. He's just consistent year in, year out. I've known Frank for 7-8 years now. Obviously, we've all been working together a little over 5 years. So I'm going to pass it over to Frank Eufemia.
Hey guys, Frank Eufemia, Family First Life, Maryland, and welcome to the Next Level Call. Sean, thank you for having me on the call. It's always a pleasure and an honor. And thank you for what you've done for me, my family, and what you continue to do for all of us here at Family First Life. The last 5 years have been nothing shy of amazing, and it just keeps getting better and better every year. So thank you for that. And this time of the year is always very exciting for us as vice presidents and agents, because we're creeping ever close to annual convention, and in fact it's 3 weeks away, and if you're registered, congratulations, you made a great decision to get there. And if you're not, I'd encourage you. In fact, I'd even beg you to just make that commitment and sign up. Book your flight, book your hotel room, and get there, because those 3 days are the most important 3 days of the entire year for you in this business. Okay. And if you decide to get there, it's going to change your business for the better, and it'll change your business forever. And 2019, the slogan is all in. You know, go all in. Get your shirt. Go all in. Book yourself your flight. Book yourself your hotel room. Get the convention. You won't regret it. You're going to get to hear training from agents that are issuing over $400,000 a year. You're going to get to hear from agents who are issuing over $500,000 a year. You're going to get to hear from VPs that are issuing $1 million a month. $2 million a month. VPs that have gone from 200 a month to $1 million a month inside of 10 months. I mean, the list of accomplishments of the people that will be speaking at this event is long. And so you're going to get the playbook on exactly how they got to where they were, and which gives you the ability to get there and get there even faster with a lot less stress and a lot less headaches. It's, I kind of compare, if you watch the game on Monday night, the college championship, the National Football College Championship, Clemson, Alabama, and the second half of that football game, like when Clemson came out in the second half, it was almost as if they had every single play that Alabama was going to run on a sheet, and it was numbered. They were going to run this play first, this play second, this play third, this play fourth, and on this play we're going to do a fake field goal. It's like they had the playbook, and because every time a receiver ran an out route, there was a DB on his backside faster than he could even blink. And every time they tried to hit the outside run, there was a outside linebacker shooting a gap. And when they tried to run off tackle, and when they tried to run the fake field goal, there was 4 guys crowding the hole that the holder was supposed to hit. It was a dominating performance by a team that was really, really prepared. And so the agents that leave convention on Super Bowl Sunday will be just like Clemson's defense in the second half of that football game. And the folks that decide not to go because it costs some money to get there, they look at it as an expense instead of an investment. And it's time away from your family. And the best excuse I've heard so far, Sean, is Super Bowl Sunday. So for the folks that decide not to go, your 2019 is going to kind of be similar to Alabama's offense in the second half of that game. It was non-existent. They couldn't get a playoff. They couldn't get a first down. They couldn't punch it in on the 1 yard line 3 times. And so if you go, I have the ability to have that type of result that Clemson had, or I can have no result like Alabama had. And I go, well, listen, if you get the annual convention in Vegas, the chances of you having Clemson result is much higher, then why would you ever not go? Like, that was an incredible display of coaching and preparation and athleticism on that game in the second half on Monday night. In fact, I don't think Alabama's ever been shut out in the half of a football game since Nick Saban's been coach, but it was just because they were prepared. And it's because they had a plan. And that's what convention can do for you. It can give you a game plan on how to get leads, set a schedule, how to make phone calls, how to get in the home, how to sit down at the table, what to present, how to present it, how to ask for the check, how to handle objections. Like everything from start to finish that you need to know in this business, and what you need to be a top producer, meaning 20, 30, 40 grand a month issue paid business, in which if you do that every single month, money's not a problem. That's what you're going to learn. And we get to hear from Sean Mike, who obviously is our coach. We get to hear from Dave Anderson, and he's one of the best speakers I've ever heard. We get the general session with the amazing vice presidents who are going to be talking. I look forward to that every year. Then we get the breakout sessions when you're going to have mortgage protection breakout session, final expense, IULs, annuities. You're going to have carriers there going over products. You're going to have all kinds of stuff, scheduling, how to run a business, how to build a business, how to hire. It's the amount of, like I said, in 3 days, it would take me 6 months to teach you everything you can learn in 3 days. And the quality of what you'll learn in those 3 days, I can't even compete with that. I know my lane. I'm going to stay in my lane, which is mortgage protection training, because I love mortgage protection. It's very simple to me. So when I'm there, I look to get information from folks that are better at stuff that I'm not, like mortgage, like final expense training, annuity training, IUL training. We can always grow. And even as a seasoned agent, I wouldn't miss it for the world. And if you pull the top 10 VPs in the company, if you poll the top 10 agents in the company, they'd all tell you the same thing, that these events this weekend changes their business every year, year in and year out, and it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. Our numbers go up every year, and they fire up right after this weekend goes by. So get there, no matter what it takes. Get there. I know I'm going to get to train on mortgage protection. We're going to go through how to sell cash back with America, which means somebody can have a plan for 20, 25, 30 years. And at the end of that period of time, if they're still alive, they get all their money back. And for me, it's a no-brainer. It has so much value. You know, you can offer a death benefit to somebody. So if they pass away, obviously their house is paid off. But now we've added this critical illness rider, which means if they get cancer, stroke, heart attack, anything critical, and there's a list of them in the application that you can read off to your clients, then they get it up to 100% of the death benefit. And that is extremely valuable, because with healthcare the way it is, and who knows where it's going, the average out-of-pocket cost for a cancer patient is upwards of around 80 grand. So if I'm working and I'm paying my mortgage and all my other bills, more than likely I don't have a ton of extra money to pay an $80,000 medical bill. But what happens if I get really sick, cancer, stroke, heart attack, and now I can't work? So I don't have any income coming in. So my mortgage, my car payment, my credit card, all that stuff still due. And now I have to pay an $80,000 medical bill on top of that. People get a lot of financial trouble that way. So we can offer them a plan that covers them not only in the event of a death, not only in the event of a critical illness, and then if none of that happens, you wind up getting all your money back. Tell me why in the world anybody would ever say no to that. And so that's the kind of stuff you'll get to learn at conference. And when I started in this business, I wasn't very good. And I say this all the time because I wasn't. You know, selling mortgages is very different than selling insurance. When you're selling somebody $300-400 savings a month, they ask you how to sign up. Like, people spend hours upon hours on the weekends clipping coupons to save $20 a week. So when you call somebody on the phone and go, hey, I can lower your interest rate, cut a couple credit cards out, consolidate these 3 bills, you're going to save $338 a month. The next question, the next thing that comes out of their mouth is, how do I get that? So when you're in a home trying to sell insurance, there's nothing monetary right there. And so when I started, it was real hard for me to go, give me a check for a service that you're not going to see right now, and you might not ever see. And when it was back in the day, there was no critical illness, so they weren't going to see it at all, because when their family got the benefit, they were dead. It was hard for me to go, give me $200 a month, and I'm going to give you this service that you're never going to really see. But just know that if you die, your family's okay. I had a hard time doing that. So I needed to come up with a way to have clients go, hey, Frank, how do I get that? Just like they used to do to me in the mortgage business. So now when we have the cashback options, the mortgage maximizers, is how I can show somebody how to cover their house if they die, how to cover their house if God forbid they get critically ill. And oh, by the way, if none of those 2 things happen, we can help you out by paying your loan off early, saving you a bunch of interest. And then in return, the client goes, Frank, how do I sign up for that plan? I want that. You want to learn how to do that and a bunch of other stuff, then see us in Vegas. Looking forward to it. Sean, turn it back over to you, buddy. Thanks for having me on again. Appreciate everything you do, pal. Bye.
Thank you, Frankie. I appreciate you more than you know. Thanks for the training. Thanks for the words of encouragement. I think that, you know, when you look at what I'll say is, we have a special guest say we did, you know, we kind of looked at the annuity end. That's part of what we're doing, this advance podcast. We're doing this, you know, to give more time to that end of the market, Advanced Markets Live. And we have an individual I'm going to bring on, Tom Hegna, who is speaking at our event. You know, Sean Ruggiero, who's obviously spearhead this annuity end, said, hey, listen, I've read a lot of books, which he has, about this. I listen to a lot of people talk. I get around folks, and yes, I love the training that we provide. And he says, you know, I do the best I can. We have some great VPs and agents that provide training. But Tom gives a really unique perspective and understands the middle American market, understands where we are and who we are. So he's going to be at the convention. So we're going to go ahead and hear from him in a minute. He'll wrap up. But before I pass it over to Tom, you know, to give you some perspective on contract agents, just so you know. January 2018, for the entire month, January 2018, we contracted under 100 agents, okay? I'll give you December of 2018, so a year, and I'll give you where we are so far just in January. We were over 400 agents, We're already over that number a couple weeks into January. We're going to be contracting 1,000 agents a month, at least, minimally. We have the infrastructure to do it, leads, Facebook, internet, EverQuote, all the stuff we're doing. Watch your email for the new arrangements and deals we've gotten you through some of these vendors and said, hey, we these guys and girls buy a lot of leads, give them better pricing, better product. So we've worked really hard and spent a lot of my time meeting with lead vendors lately and carriers. New carrier announcements, as you know, you've heard about a lot of them. Got some new ones going to join us at annual convention. They're very excited to be there. So thank you for all you do. Thank you for providing so much protection. We hit a record with America this weekend. 5 years, we've done quite a bit of volume. Jeremy Thornton called me and said, you guys blew your weekend record away. So to say we have momentum is the truth. We're going to continue it. We will not let up. We will not let our guard down. We will not take our foot off the gas. So please join me and my buddy now, Tom Hegna, and hear from him.
Hello, Tom Hegna here. I've been in the insurance industry for 30 years. I've written 5 books on retirement. I've had a PBS TV special that's played in 80 million homes in the US and Canada. I've spoken main platform at Top of the Table, main platform MDRT annual meeting, main platform NAFA, main platform Gamma. But I am really excited because I get to be a speaker at the Family First annual convention in Las Vegas at the Venetian on February 1st. Look, the American College named me as one of the top 11 people in the world that you should follow for retirement income. And as I said, I've written 5 books on retirement. All of my books are based in math and science. It's from the research of the top PhDs in the world who've studied retirement. So what I'm going to be sharing with you is not a bunch of opinions. I'm going to be sharing with you the math and science behind a successful retirement. And what I would tell you is that unfortunately, most of your clients are not getting their information from PhD white papers. They don't base their retirements on math and science. They watch TV and they talk to their friends. And they are getting all kinds of bad information. You get Ken Fisher who says, I hate annuities and you should too. You get Dave Ramsey that says you should only buy low-cost term insurance. Anything else is a ripoff. You get Susie Orman who says the only time you should ever buy long-term care insurance is after age 60. All of these things are false, all right? So what I'm going to share with you is the truth. See, what's happened is your clients have literally been psychonomically programmed to fail at retirement. They're going to have a suboptimal retirement. The facts are very different. The Financial Research Corporation of Boston did a white paper that says income annuities improve portfolio outcomes in retirement. It's one of the most powerful pieces I've ever read. You can Google that. You can print it out before the meeting, but let me give you some of the highlights. Income annuities offer features others can't. High cash flow, uncorrelated to market returns, retirement alpha in the form of mortality credits, which only life insurance companies can manufacture, longevity, hedging, and liquidity features. Now, with everything's been going on in the stock market, don't you think your clients would want some of that? They went on to say, our analysis shows that no other investment vehicle, none, can rival the income annuity for retirement security. There is no other vehicle in the marketplace, none, that can convert assets into income as efficiently as an income annuity. Now look, Family First has some very powerful indexed products, indexed annuities, and there's been all kinds of reports, PhDs that have written how indexed annuities have outperformed bonds in a portfolio for the past 40 or 50 years. So again, what I'm going to be sharing with you is math and science that can help you with your clients. As far as life insurance, here's the ultimate truth. You might have been told a lot of things about life insurance, but here's the ultimate truth. The only policy that matters is the one that's in force on the day that you die. Would you agree with me? Well, guess what? Less than 2% of term policies are ever in force on the day that you die. Now, that doesn't mean term is bad. It just means term should never be your only policy. Term is there for supplemental coverage, for extra coverage. When the kids are little, when the bills are high, when the paycheck is small, that's when you use term life insurance. But I'll share this with you in Las Vegas. As far as long-term care insurance, you should buy it today. You can't buy long-term care insurance. You got to qualify for it, and you qualify for it with your health. And I don't care if you buy long-term care insurance, or if you buy a life insurance policy with a long-term care rider, or if you buy an annuity that will spring up with a bunch of income in your 70s and 80s. I say any plan is better than no plan. But look at this. The odds of your house burning down between now and the day you die are less than 3 out of 100. Y'all got homeowners insurance. The odds of you totaling your car between now and the day that you die are less than 18 out of 100. Y'all got automobile insurance. But the odds of you needing long-term care between now and the day you die are 72 out of 100. And yet most clients don't have any form of long-term care coverage. We've got to get better at talking to them about that. The other thing I would say is this is not a knowledge business. See, a lot of people think this is a knowledge business. I say this is not a knowledge business. This is now a words business. This is a language business. This is a questions business. And this is a stories business. See, you want to increase your production? Work on your words, work on your language, work on your questions, and work on your stories. And what I'm going to be sharing with you in Las Vegas are the powerful words, language, questions, and stories that you can talk to your clients when they're going through all the things that are happening in the market and the economy. I'm going to share with you what to say. And it's all based in math and science. So you're not going to be trying to sell them something. You're going to be helping them retire with confidence. And then there's all the research on people being happy in retirement. And you know who the happiest people are? People who have guaranteed lifetime income. The Wall Street Journal had this article. The secret to a happier retirement is friends, neighbors, and a fixed annuity. And it researched who are the happiest people in retirement. Who are the happiest people in retirement in your book of business? I bet it's your retired military, retired government, retired teachers, retired professors. It's people with pensions. And what is a pension? A pension is a lifetime income annuity. It's a guaranteed paycheck for life. See, all the research shows that the happiest people have guaranteed lifetime income, not assets. Think about it. Who are the most miserable people in your book of business? They're loaded. They got assets out the wazoo, but they're losing money in Facebook. They're losing money in Apple. They're losing money in Amazon. They're losing money in Bitcoin. These people are miserable. You want to be happy in retirement? You want to have some guaranteed lifetime income. Not only that, but the more income you have, the more likely you are to live longer. Take a look at this. This was in the Journal for Financial Service Professionals. It was written by an attorney. Annuities and moral hazard. Can longevity insurance increase longevity? And here's what they said. In the United States, a 65-year-old male who purchases a life annuity can expect to live about 20% longer than a 65-year-old male who does not. That's powerful. Now, why is that? Oh, just some little things. They got less stress in their life. They're not worried when the market goes up. When the market crashes, they go play another 18 holes of golf. And you know what? Because they're paid to live, they take a little bit better care of themselves. When they got a pain, they go see the doctor. They exercise a little more. They watch what they eat. And all of this is based in math and science. I'm not making this stuff up. Look, my second book is a book by the name of Retirement Income Masters, Secrets of the Pros. I could literally do a whole presentation on that book. I just want to tell you one story. Remember I said stories are so important. There's a guy in the book by the name of Dick Austin. Now, Dick Austin's been in the business for over 40 years. He's been recommending guaranteed lifetime income for over 30 years. Here's a story he tells in the book. He says there was a family from Boston who'd never been to the desert before. They'd never seen a cactus or a coyote or a lizard, but they wanted to. So they booked a family vacation to Death Valley, California. And they're going to go through California, through Nevada into Arizona. And they booked it for the middle of July. When they landed, it was 127 degrees. Now, 127 degrees is so hot, you can fry eggs on the pavement. But it was okay. They had a big old Lincoln Continental with ice-cold air conditioning. And they climb in the Lincoln Continental and they start their drive. And at first, it was sand dunes. It went on and on. They'd never seen so much sand. Then it was cactus after cactus after cactus. There were lizards everywhere. There's a tarantula. There's a coyote. There's a rattlesnake eating a rabbit. They'd never seen it before. They were having the time of their lives. Well, as the day went long, somebody noticed the gas gauge was now almost on E, and the next town was almost 100 miles away. Well, now panic set in. The air conditioner comes off, the windows come down, the heat of the day pours in, they start sweating. Now they start fighting and arguing. How could you be so stupid not to fill the tank before we go across Death Valley? Hey, how fast should we drive? Guy in the back seat said, I don't know, looks pretty flat. I'd probably speed her up to 100, 110. We could probably coast for 5 or 6 miles. The other guy looks at him and says, you are a moron. We got to slow this down to 30. We got to save fuel. The lady in the car said, I read a report once. It's 52.4 miles per hour is the optimal speed to drive across the desert. So here they are. They're fighting. They're arguing. They're sweating. They're miserable. And all their eyes were on the gas gauge as it went down, down, down. And they knew they were going to run out. They just didn't know when. And Dick said, that's why you need some guaranteed lifetime income. He said, you see, everybody thinks that running out of money in retirement is about the day you run out of money. He said, that's not true. It's all those years in retirement when you know you're going to run out and you're fighting and you're arguing and you're miserable and all your eyes are on the bank account as it goes down, 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 and you know you're going to run out. You just don't know when. He said, having some money and a guaranteed lifetime income annuity, just like having a quarter tank of gas guaranteed all the way across Death Valley. Look, remember when I said this is a words business? It's a language business. It's a questions business. It's a stories business. See, I get people all the time to say, Tom, you got those words. You got those questions. You got those stories. Well, guess what? If you show up at the Venetian on February 1st, you're going to have those words. You're going to have the language. You're going to have the questions and the stories because you can borrow all of mine. So I look forward to seeing you at the Venetian on February 1st. And I want to thank Sean Ruggiero and Sean Mike. And if you haven't signed up yet, just go to annuity@familyfirstlife.com and sign up. And I will see you in Las Vegas.